YouTube. This I'm gonna make red because I think a lot of people have asked for this. This I'll make yellow. Okay, we're in business. They're golden. We're getting very close to done this stuff. We had one bug report where all the enemies stood still in one of the levels. Good old nav mesh just breaking. I love Unreal Engine. I love Unreal Engine so much. Fucking piece of shit. This engine makes me want to tear my fucking hair out sometimes. I'm telling you, man. Seems like a regular Monday. Mountain Skybox has collision enabled. Well, that's not a good idea. Let me guess. Does it also have shadows enabled? Oh, who would have thought? Are they on? Godot is calling. I feel like with Godot, I'm just gonna run into 5 million issues, and I won't be able to work on my game. Instead, I'll just be fixing the engine, and I could care less for that. I'm gonna be real. I could care less for that. I could care less, to be honest. Loving the 1.0 update? Hey, hell yeah. Well, you mean the beta. The 1.0 isn't out just yet. Hopefully the 1.0, when we release it, has a lot less bugs. No bugs! Minimal bugs! There is the one issue still that I have not fixed, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that. The execution animations are not going to be 100% synced up because it's going to take a lot of work to get that to look good. I really do want to work on that, but yeah. Only bug I've ran into was the bomb killing me when I'm far from it. I'm gonna guess in Rush B. I think it's time for some different music. I just want something chill. I'm gonna be honest. What's something? The Celeste soundtrack. Let's do it. There we go. Yeah, I think I reduced the range of the bomb. So once you get in the interior, it's not as bad. And I think I also changed up that level a bit. It's on my list to change it up a little bit more as well. But yeah. Dragon's Breath. I can see outside and there's no streets, etc. Make it look a little less like Dust. Yep, that's a task. Yep, I wrote that down. That is a task. Yes. As a matter of fact, that is indeed a task. Kicking down the second door in Roma Overflow is extremely annoying. Gets stuck on the frame constantly. That's still happening. Can we double check that so I can remove that task? Because I did some attempt changes to it. Overflow. That door works. No one sees me. This Lust music is so good. It is pretty good, eh? I went ahead and simplified this level, by the way. I added an explosive barrel there. The camera did not show correctly. How does this play on the Steam Deck? It works. I do want to do some testing before I release the 1.0 to make sure everything's running well on the Steam Deck again still. Because it's been a hot minute since I play tested it. But it works. I would maybe lower a couple settings on the Steam Deck to run at a smoothish, like 70 FPS, I think. But that being said, I did make some optimizations to some of the levels, so. Would you ever use assault rifles or SMGs used alongside pistols? We got a bunch of like secondary weapons, but it's like things that you pick up in the level. They're like weapons that you pick up. It's not like you know, weapons that you have permanently. So we got ARs, we got SMGs, we got shotguns, we got tiny pistols. This thing, which is kind of like a sniper, but not really. I feel like we can maybe improve the camera when going through here. Yeah, the AR isn't like a permanent weapon. It's something you pick up and use temporarily. Goodbye. There's an invisible wall there. Did I not put a water volume there so we don't have any water effects? I think I can see there's no water effects. Ah. You just rename the game to Suit for Hire Starship Troopers? Is there like, is the Starship Troopers game buggy or something? Oh, bugs. Took me a second. I figured it out. Oh, guess I'll die then. Would I ever make a level with just the armored soldiers? We don't have any levels with just the armored soldiers, but some of the arena levels, the final waves, are mostly just elites. So there are a couple levels where we do that a bit. Okay, the door seems okay now. The door seems okay. We managed to get our UE5 game running on a GTX 970 on low settings, looking atrocious, but still hitting 45 FPS and CPU actually being bottlenecked. Are you using Lumen? Or are you using like DX11 for that? Lumen indeed. Yeah, but then if it looks like shit, then what's the point? You know what I wouldn't mind? You know what I wouldn't mind? I wouldn't mind being able to use traditional like dynamic lighting without Lumen, but have like a really basic GI. Like, it doesn't need to be super like accurate, just something to kind of fill in a space without requiring me to bake the lighting. You know what I mean? Now, there are tricks. You could use a point light, doesn't cast shadows, has a big range, turn off a bunch of the fall off, blah, 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 blah. You could do that, but like, what if it was like you know, accurate, dynamic within the scene. I guess I could figure out a way of doing that myself, right? In a dynamic way. Make my own dynamic GI, I guess. A very, very hacky dynamic GI. That's like super basic. Kind of comes back to the idea of like a flashlight having a fake point light. You know what I mean? A fake point light that just fills in a space. Yeah. Some ideas. Let's fix this up. The brute enemy not showing the third person alert indicator. I think that's probably because I just missed the brute. So in here we have an add attack indicator. Chances are I probably just forgot to... I didn't forget. Wait, what? Wait, what? What if we set the minimum distance for the rush attack to 0 then? Interesting. Missing materials are kind of super great for free lighting, and dynamic lighting gets super restrictive lighting. Yeah, it is definitely... When you start doing dynamic lighting, you have to do a lot of like fuckery just to make it look somewhat okay and nice. That's why so many like survival games just look like shit, because they just have a skylight that just encompasses everything. There's no like darkness and contrast because the skylight just fills literally everything. I feel like that's something I see so often with like survival games. I bet you this piece of shit game probably has the same problem. Actually, the lighting doesn't look too half bad. At least in these screenshots. Dude, I don't like Scum. That being said, I haven't played it since... I don't know. Since its release. It was just really bad. So why was this not playing? A review, enemies missing. This I gotta look into. The reload bullet is missing and the chamber went visually on the Hunter 500 after restarting the chapter. Oh, right. That's like an issue with the HUD. The HUD, for some reason... Okay. There's no shield attack indicator when they charge at you 90% of the time other enemies in the game. I think what it was must have been the minimum distance of 450 units. It just wasn't spawning the attack indicator, which is silly. Yeah, weird. Have to check in your library from the last time I played it. Let's see. 2018. It's a while ago. That's 7 years. Let me tell you, the game was not good 7 years ago. Did they fix it after 7 years? I wonder. Does it still have all of those things where you have to like manage your sodium and shit? I thought that was a stupid mechanic, honestly. I think that's just, when games do that sort of stuff where you have to like manage your nutrients and stuff, I think that's like, listen, man, I already have to do that myself. Devil May Cry released in 2019. It feels like yesterday. Wait, DMC5, you mean? You're talking about Devil May Cry 5? I feel like Valheim's way of doing that was fun. Did Valheim have a nutrient system? Or was it just a hunger? Let me see this brute enemy. Why does the brute not have the indicator? This fucking buggy ass enemy. Okay, it seems like they're doing it. Eating different foods gave you different health, stam, etc. stuff. You see, that's okay. I mean, like, when you have to, like, manage your nutrients and your character has to take a dump and stuff like that, I just think, like... I just think it's... I don't know, I just find it really... stupid. Well, you gotta take a poop. Oh, okay. Your character needs to piss. Oh, okay, I guess. You need to have a somewhat balanced to min/max it. But like, if you didn't balance it, did the game like punish you? If it's for realism, fuck that. I think that shit's just so stupid, in my opinion. Oh shit. Didn't exactly punish you, but it makes the game harder. That's how you just make a game unfun, in my opinion. Just you make it, you turn it into a chore. Just, like, you have super low stamina without food. Like, I mean, like a hunger system's fine. A hunger system's fine. I'm talking about like when it goes even deeper than just hunger, where it's like you have to eat specific foods and then drink water and all this. Like water is, liquid is okay if you have 2 separate bars, but once you start getting into like more than 2 bars, specifically like in the realm of food and nutrients and stuff like that, I'm like, really? I think it's cool to reward players with buffs and stuff if they specifically eat foods. Yeah, like carbs and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. I think it's okay to reward the... Like, I think what it should be is you can eat a bunch of foods that satiate you, so then that way you have stamina. But I think a good way of rewarding players that go out of their way to make different kinds of foods is like that, is give them buffs and stuff beyond just the hunger and whatever system. After fishing minigame. Yeah, there you go. When will they add snorting fantasy coke to keep away the shivers? Your character has become addicted to drugs. Aren't there RPGs that do that? Maybe we need a slight delay. Between the indicator and this. Is there fishing in Valheim? I'm pretty sure there is fishing in Valheim. Is there not? Outer Worlds did that. Tarkov has that to an extent. They do. They also have it so when you take drugs, your hydration... Most drugs end up making your hydration go down. So there's a cost to it. There's a cost to spamming painkillers and shit. Which I think that's fine. I think that's fine. You know, that creates a inherent cost to... Rather than it being mana, it's your fucking hydration. What up, Zetlan? How's it going? I think Tarkov does it relatively well-ish in the whole grand scheme of things. With how long a raid is and whatnot, it kind of matches up. And also the fact that you can kind of just be in your hideout or whatever, and it'll regen your hunger slowly. I think they do it okay. Obviously, it just doesn't have all those like, oh, carbs, fucking sodium, all that stuff. I think that just stop it. I don't know if Scum is still doing that. I don't know how much impact it actually had on the player eating too much salty stuff. I remember I did that. I don't remember what it did to my character though. I think it did nothing. At that point, why have all of those stats? Is it just for the sake of just having those stats there? I don't get it. I don't know. Okay, this should be fixed. I think. Consumer objective highlight fighting when both events proc. Right. Elevator broke. This should be fixed for the next patch. Gun shadow. Okay. Hiya. Here's what we're gonna do though. We got a variety of things to work on. We have a lot of stuff here. And this. Can see outside and there's no streets, etc. Okay, let's get that task out of here because I keep looking at it and I dread looking at it. We spin a wheel and we work on that. Ideally, what we should be working on is all of the stuff with color. Toot, woot. This should be fixed. If it's not fixed, I have no clue what's going on. This we can also fix today, I think. I'm gonna make this yellow. Is this still happening? Where a random indicator appears out of nowhere? Is that still happening? I haven't seen this occurring in any playtests, and nobody's pointed it out. Like a random indicator appearing out of nowhere facing like north. I feel like I have not heard of anybody running into a similar problem. So I'm going to say this is fine now. Throwing an enemy off an edge sometimes stops them right on the edge. So it's technically not a bug. It's just a problem. It's not a bug. It's just a problem. You do all this easy stuff and ignore the big things so you're first to do them. That's how you do things. Honestly, the one thing I should be doing right now is doing this. The reason why I should focus on this right now is because this could
produce a bunch of bugs if the player puts the input on different things. And also I'm going to have to put a bunch of localization stuff as well. And then also maybe fixing this. Gun, mouse, aim assist, and third person feels weird locking up behind the player camera. Precision mode. I think this would end up being, if I want to, for fun, put this in as like a after 1.0 kind of little content update for third person players. The idea with this is that this would just break the gameplay though. This would be like an experimental thing. We'd put this under like the experimental section where you shoot an enemy actually matters. This would only work in third person though. Obviously in top down it would not work. Like enemies already have health, but this would go further and make it so like maybe the primary weapon actually takes into account where you're shooting the enemies now. The distance. Other guns would have other things as well. Yeah. So this would just turn the game into Call of Duty, basically. Yeah, it would just turn the game into Call of Duty. That's basically what it'd be. Yeah. These are gray, as in probably won't do it. I should put that under the backlog section. Actually, let's do, instead of backlog, environment polish, let's do backlog, and then we'll put this in the backlog. COD invented headshots. It's not that. It's more like it would just make the game go from an arcadey game to just kind of generic. That's how I would treat it. It would make the game kind of just generic. It's like, well, oh, and this, you know, we go from your main pistol being this very powerful thing that kills in one hit. Now, it looks a little silly when you can one hit an enemy by shooting them in the toe, but, you know, whatever. At that point, I might as well put in a fucking setting that on top of realism mode gives you a health bar. I might as well go that far. You know what I mean? Why stop there? It's like, might as well give the player a health bar. Which I'm sure, dude, I know I talked about it a few streams ago. I really do think maybe the game would have been more accessible if the game just had a health bar. Yeah. Also a mode where you need to press buttons to breathe in and out. We should do that for the zombie survival game. Once we start doing anomalies that can like hear you breathing, we need to like put in a little mini game where you have to like, you need to like hold your breath and shit. Yeah. All right, let's work on this. I think this is because the amount of stuff we're gonna have to do for this is gonna be, we're gonna have to do all the localization for this and everything. But I think players are gonna like it because then it gives them more control over their controls and settings and stuff. Blah, 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 blah. How the fuck am I going to do this? So we already do this for dodging and diving. This is one instance where we did separate the two. We allow the player to separate the two. That being said, coding that to make it so we could do either one was fucking painful. Now we're dealing with 3 separate buttons on one button. Mic input for breathing, so you have to violently mouth breathe the entire play session. Jimmy, I'm trying to stay alive here. Like, that's crazy. It's like those. It's like those. It's like those games, those horror games that like started doing this thing where it's like any microphone sound just instantly kills you. You guys know which horror games I'm talking about? Ones where like the instant you make any sort of noise on your microphone, like you just die. Jump scare, die. I think those in idea is interesting-ish. In reality, in actual execution, with how many things can go wrong with like players, it's really silly. It's like, oh, your mom walks in. Oh, you died. You died. You have to redo the entire game. Phasmophobia has mic mechanics. I think I think a game that does microphone mechanics well is Lethal Company. Because it's like Lethal Company and Repo, I think both do some mechanical stuff with microphone. But the thing is they do like push to talk microphone. So it's like if you talk to your friend in the room, then you die. It's not like you talking to your fucking brother that walked into the room or something and found your underwear or whatever. Same concept with like a realistic forest. I know which one you're talking about. I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just a hater. I'm sorry. One day someone's going to find all of my clips of me talking shit about other games, and it's going to be really bad. Gonna get canceled. Hey, look at this fucking asshole dev just talking shit about everything. I'm sorry. I just talk a lot of shit. Mind you, I also talk shit about my own game. Okay, so you know, no one's safe. Maybe it's aimed at streamers. To be fair, let's be real. A lot of horror games are kind of aimed at streamers and content creators, are they not? I feel like they kind of are in some sense. Sometimes. There's some that are like really good. You know what I mean? Okay. So we need a button for interact, execute, and counter. We need to be able to make it so each of those events can happen separately. So here's a problem. Our interact button, right in here, interaction has all of these events. We have interact for an execute. Then we have interaction. Then we have countering. Okay, the countering one will be easy, I think. Also, think about that. Streamers are like such a super niche group. In the grand scheme of things, they are, but they're also not. The amount of motherfuckers that are like, you know, they only have like one viewer, bless their souls, because I've been through that too. Maybe this won't be that hard, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, the amount of people that are trying to get into the streaming space, I don't know if I'd necessarily they're a niche. Like, there's some people that literally just... I guess if we're talking about, like, streamers that actually have, like, a bunch of viewers and stuff, then, yeah, that would be pretty niche in the whole grand scheme of things. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I were to ever make a horror game, I would definitely go down more of, like, a Resident Evil route. You know what I mean? Like, you really gotta... In my opinion, you really got to make your horror game have gameplay. It can't just be a walking simulator, because then at that point, a streamer or a YouTuber plays it, and then guess what? All of their viewers, who could be potential purchasers, have just experienced the entire game. So who cares? In my opinion, I think good horror games are those that, like, provide gameplay diversity, I guess. I guess that would be the best way of saying it. I don't know. Streamers like an amplified regular player, whereas regular players might tell their friends to get the game. Streamers have way more of a reach, even smaller ones. Yeah, no, they definitely do. I rarely play horror games I've watched, it's true. It's because most of them are kind of just that. They're just walking simulators with just interacting with objects and whatnot. They're not necessarily, they don't give you like that's why I think Resident Evil is a very good example of a good horror game, because there's like gameplay urgency where there's like different systems playing and it's not just you interacting with things. There's weapons, there's enemies that you actually fight, rather than a monster that when they touch you, the fucking jump scare and then That's why I think Five Nights at Freddy's I think did so well, is because you can experience it through a streamer, but you can also experience it almost fresh yourself because you have to play the game, you know what I mean? Like there's actual, like, I guess, skill involved with it. Learning gameplay, I think that's the thing. You have to be able to teach the player something rather than them just walking around and playing what is essentially a cinematic. That is basically what it is. Okay, you know what? I thought this was going to be hard. I think this might actually be... I think this might not be too hard to do. Where do we play that animation where you put our hand out when we execute? Oh, that's the counterattack animation playing. Error. Is that what that is? Countering. Yeah, it plays that little animation. Anything without agency ends up just being a movie. Exactly. And at that point, if viewers watch the movie, then they just watch the movie. They don't need to play it to watch the movie again. You know what I mean? I'll stop watching to play it myself right away if I'm able to buy it at the moment. That's a really good thing to think about then, Miyazaki, because it's like, if you have a YouTuber that you're watching play a game, I feel like at that point the intro is the most important part of that entire horror game. Then the like first 5 to 8 minutes could be like extremely important. Is this Unreal 6? You kidding me? This is Unreal 7. Yeah, we're up there. I got insider access. Unreal 8. Let's bring it up a notch. Unreal 9. UE version 6.9 is going to be lit. I can't wait. Hey, does Lumen work fine? I don't know. I don't use it. It's the German version, Unreal 9. 9. Maybe in Unreal 10 we'll make the game by hands with brushes inside of Unreal. Real Engine. Unreal 10 becomes Real Engine 10. You're physically morphing things with your hands. Okay. Hold on. So the cool thing I like is when you hit E to interact, we do this cool animation. That being said, I think we do that when we open a door, I think it plays a different animation. In Unreal 10, you inject your consciousness in the project and it builds it for you? That sounds really boring, man. I do not envy people that just want a final product of something. I feel like there's no life to it. You know what I mean? I feel like there's no life to any of that. You didn't hear shit. Not yet though, Cog. We're getting there. I like practical stuff more, like making handcrafty things, like movie makers. See, it's something I've been thinking about. Making things physically or having a physical hobby is definitely, there's definitely a different feeling to it than doing things digitally. I don't know. Like, I'm happy when I'm able to problem solve an issue with my games, but at the same time, I feel like there's something missing from that tangible result. You know, this is just me pushing a bunch of fucking buttons on my keyboard and using a mouse. You know what I mean? Which, like, takes skill. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, there's something satisfying about like finishing something physical, like building something. After the launch, are you going to finally start a UE5 game with all the features you had FOMO about? I don't have FOMO. It's just more so a case of like, okay, UE5, for one, all marketplace assets are mostly just releasing on UE5 now. Thanks. Great. So for one, that's a problem. Two, there are some nice features in UE5 beyond just Nanite and Lumen. To be honest, I really don't give a shit about Nanite and Lumen. I really don't. I don't care for it. You know? I don't really care for it. I know everyone just fucking splurges their pants about Nanite and Lumen. I don't care about Nanite and Lumen. I care about the other shit. You know what I mean? For all I know, I'll probably just switch to DX11 for my games. Yeah. Build a table for your workstation is fun. If you don't need an extra table and just sell after. I was thinking, because I got a lot of coffee stuff, right? I got like 2 grinders, blah, blah, blah. I was thinking it'd be cool to have like a nice high table in the back here. You know what I mean? Put my espresso machine and shit over here. I just don't know what kind of table I'd want for that. I was like looking at Amazon and I was like, I hate all of these. I hate all of these, man. I just need a big, nice plank of wood and some fucking metal legs, man. What else do I need? I haven't tried it re-ammo. I have no clue if I will for the 1.0. I feel like I should try it just to see if it fixes crashes and whatnot. What I might do is I might do like after 1.0, maybe I try to upgrade to 4.27, put it as a beta branch, see how stable it is for people, and then go from there. But the only annoying thing is there are random crashes that occur with the game, and those are buzz kills, and I understand that. I just don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix those crashes. I'm trying to. A lot of them point at pathfinding, so I don't fucking know. I don't know. Unironically, when I say games with ridiculous lighting or graphics, the moment it performs bad, my first thought is, I wonder if this is made in UE5. Yeah, unfortunately, that is the current narrative, I guess, current thing. Hey, Zen, how's game dev going today? It's going all right, man. How are you? If you upgrade just for fun, you can see how many errors at project start could be pushed in your face. Since we're on we're a C++ project, chances are there's probably going to be quite a bit of C++ issues. But I am curious, nonetheless. We'll see. I don't know. It's not UE's fault. It is 99% of the time corporate. the executives that don't fucking know what they're doing. Which is baffling. Like, why are we making these people executives when they don't fucking know what they're doing? Okie dokie. Well, I guess there's only one thing to do. Make the new inputs. Face button left. Ah! Where the fuck I am? Oh wait, axis mappings. Face button left. Face button, gamepad face button left. And then we make one more, which is the counterattack. Okay. Holy input list. Glad we have enhanced now. So here's a funny bug I have, and not a single Epic developer knows what happened. I don't know if it's still occurring in UE5. Well, obviously it can't because whatever. Every single one of my UE4 projects adds a bunch of inputs, even if I delete it, and they randomly appear out of nowhere. Such as left primary attack. I didn't make that. Left secondary attack on Q. Never made that. There's like an open map in here. Unless it somehow is no longer showing up anymore. It just randomly appears out of nowhere on every single project I work on. Just out of nowhere. Just a bunch of random shit fucking appears out of nowhere. It's very funny. It's very funny. Hey, Gob, how's it going? Pretty sure they make themselves executives by buying the position, and then they fucking do nothing and they get paid a shit ton. What? Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Is it a part of a code running as a part of the template they haven't discovered yet? I have no idea, but it runs in every single one of my projects, even a fresh project. It'll just create a bunch of like template shit that I've never seen before. I have no idea how it happens. I asked an Epic developer one time and they're like, I don't know. And I was like, all right. Nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, cool. All right, so basic thing. We do this. This basically sets us up for gamepad use. Put that there. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. He's dead, is not diving, is not executing an enemy. So I think we're going to have all of these in each one of these as well. Big, humongous branch. It's probably in your app data somewhere in some ini file. I have no clue how it got there. No idea how I got there. See if I could dig up the answer for you. I don't know if you'll be able to find it, man. I know a long time ago I searched for it. Could not find. Could not find what was going on. Okay, then we got the interact execute with an else statement. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, we're gonna need all of these in here too. Okay. All right, counterattack. Nice spaghetti. Did you cook this up yourself? I did. I did. I did. It's al dente. It's al dente. This shit is al dente. Is there any way where this gets cut off? Make sure an enemy. Make sure an enemy. Make sure an enemy. Uh-huh. Right. Not executing an enemy gets called here. And checking if enemy is not being executed. Okay. Delete this. Delete this. Put this into here. Put that into here too. Put this, take this, put this here, go over here, put this here, interact, execute, okay, put that there, put here, put that there, okay, over here, alright, nice. Okay, next, put this here, put this right there. Alright, let's find out what kind of bugs appear. Okay. How many bugs have we produced by making this change? By separating all of this stuff into different sections. We can still execute. Now, can we counterattack? Can we counterattack? And then execute an enemy and counterattack. That wasn't on the same time. Hold on. I think that would have counted as a counter, but let's see. Hold on. I think it's prioritizing the execute. But I'm not certain. So I think it's doing what it's supposed to do. I think. Here's something that could go wrong. What if there's two of them? I counter one of them. I can't test this properly. Is he okay? I don't know. I think that would have counted as a counterattack, would it not? Now he's getting hurt. What the hell is going on, man? I think everything's okay. But I'm gonna see what people say. That still is a problem. I don't know, I'm gonna fix that, man. That's gonna be a big problem to try to fix, because it's built into the animation. Oh, wait. What I'm worried about is that this bug... Yep, that seems about right. Which bug are you working on? I'm just trying to see if... Why is he like constantly taking damage? He's broken. What's wrong with him? That is dummy character 51. Can I look at the base enemy character? I can. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Is enemy passive true? What? Why is the enemy passive? He's not supposed to be passive. Can someone tell that guy to stop hitting me, please? Tell him to stop. Why does he keep playing the hit animation, though? Must be occurring somewhere in here, right? No? What the hell? Oh my god, there's so much code everywhere. Shit, dude. Is he still doing it? Yep, he's still doing it. He's lost. He's fucking lost in the sauce. Let's check his animation blueprint, I guess. That would be the next potential applicable thing here. Ah. He's like playing like a damaged animation. Why is there nothing? Oh, he's still being staggered for some reason. Let's pause the game real quick, so I don't have to keep hearing the weird noises. Our character is stuck in staggered. That occurs after counterattacking an enemy. I think it was after countering an enemy. Can we double check? Let's stop and resume. I think it only happens when the enemy just spawned in. I think it only happens when the enemy just spawned in. I think that's the only... Watch this. Yep. I think that's a non-issue. I think that might be a non-issue. Wait, hold on. What's going on? Some plugins like enhanced input or starter content register default input mappings. Go to edit plugins, check if enhanced input is enabled. If you don't need them, disable the plugins and restart that. Check the plugin configuration. The input config assets. The bind action with hard-coded names like left primary text and blueprint nodes. So we don't use enhanced input. So these names and create them. Check game mode, player controller, input config for reference. What is input config asset? AI hallucination? A little better. Input config.ini in config folder? But which starter content would it be? Let's see. Epic Games 4.26. Samples? Templates. Default input. Looks about right for that one. I don't know why a template would add itself to my stuff, but how about the starter content? Samples, starter content, starter content. Starter content does not have a config file a part of it. As far as I can tell, starter content does not have any config file a part of it. So it can't be that one. It can't be the starter content. Good kernel. I'm telling you, this shit's just haunted. It's just, something's haunted with it. Input config. Input config. Never seen that file before. I have a feeling this is the case of AI potentially hallucinating a file that doesn't exist. Let's see default config. Guys, I've been using the engine for 10 plus years. So at this point, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think an AI is going to figure it out. The only file types I could think of would be either base input. I'm just the messenger, shoot chat GPT. I know. I'm just... That's what I'm saying, is that. I have a feeling it was probably some shit that lingered after I tried to use the Source Engine version. I think this was happening beforehand as well, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure this was occurring before as well. Showing me a bunch of header files. Oh, input any. Let's see. What about this? It's empty. Okay. Let's see. Default input in 426. These are a part of the templates, which we don't use any of them. Let's take a look at the third person template input. We got aperture mappings like jump, reset VR, move forward, turn rate. Nothing that I can see in there. Yeah, no, I'm not looking at my project. I'm looking at UE because this is an issue that occurs on all of my projects. It will randomly just add a bunch of inputs in all of my projects. Which is a funny little situation. It's a funny little bug, huh? It doesn't matter. I don't know if it's happening in UE5 anymore, so honestly, it's not an issue for me. It's a non-issue. That being said, I think this somehow magically is working, which is surprising to me. Now we just need to put it in our settings menu so that we can switch it up and then test that. Ah! Oh, it didn't make noise. So interact is no longer interact execute. It just becomes interact, which means all of our localization will have to be edited. Could it be from auto settings? I thought about that, but I'm pretty sure. Yes, it could be actually. As a matter of fact, it could be. Where's my vault cache? Where did I put that? It's because I can't find it. My vault cache. Where is auto settings? Where does auto settings go? Would that be an app data? No, I don't think so. Would it be? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it is. You know, you might be onto something. It could be auto settings, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it happen even in a project that doesn't have auto settings added to the project. So that's where some real weird stuff happens. Hold on. Now I'm curious. 4.26 plugins, auto settings. But it doesn't have a config file. Input mapping.cpp.txt file? Question mark? What? What the hell is even that? It would have to be something that's being added in C++, because well, for one, I don't see any files. Do people know why your name is First Crimson? I don't know why, so how would others? I don't know. I don't think there is an engine folder in here. I'm looking at the plugin right now. I'm looking at the plugin. Maybe it's not the plugin, it's... No. I don't know. Anyways, who cares? Anyway, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Let's if I can put the shit in here. All right, now we got to move this fucker up to where interact is, and then we paste another one. So this is interact, this will be execute, and then this will be counterattack. All right, okay, looking good. Oh, hell yeah. My name was Marvelo first for like 2 years because of that. That's on you, brother. That's not on me. That's on you, brother. I don't know what to tell you. That's on you. I believe we called that counterattack, and then this is execute. Okay, so now H is hide HUD, J is pause game, U is nothing. U shall be execute. We're going to test execute, and then counterattack shall be, I don't know, what's on O? That's a lot of print strings. What is that? So here's something that sucks. When I hit the interact button, It doesn't have the nice, cool little handout animation anymore, which really sucks. Also, the execute UI has the wrong button. Execute. Is there anything else I should potentially know about? So far, so good. Tutorials. What? Tutorials. Tutorials. Tutorial table. Ah, action input. Executing enemies. Execute. Counterattack. Counterattack. Why is counterattack underneath the tutorial? I don't think these are in order. That's okay. I don't think we spawned them in this order. Okay. Next point of interest. Can I rebind them back to E? E. And will it work? Yeah, looks like good. Does the game have controller support? It does, yeah. I did see one UI that I might have to change. I gotta fix that, man. So this button here shows X to execute. I think that's in the main HUD, if I remember correctly. Glad to see that it works though. Still works. Oh, that's good. 3-month progress. Game far. Game good. Game 3 months. I don't know. What have we done in the past 3 months? Bunch of shit, I guess. So that's in the HUD. Ah! So this button, instead of interact, it's going to be execute. And I think that's, hold on, tooltips. Loading screen tooltips. Counter attacks by pressing counter. Has this tooltip been broken this entire time? I think it has. What? All right. Well, that's something. I feel like there's a lot of tooltips we can put in here, like executing enemies, grabbing enemies. But then that's more text. And then that's more money that I have to put towards localization. Was it with guitar picks that they get lost so easily? Dude, I spent days trying to look for this pick, and then I find out it actually really was underneath my keyboard. It was just stuck to it, and I didn't look close enough at my keyboard, even though I did. And somehow it was still stuck. I think it was stuck under, like, you know how there's like 4 little sticky thingies at the bottom of your keyboard, or like little padding thingies? I think it was somehow stuck underneath one of those. Somehow. And I couldn't see it for some reason. Don't ask me how. Okay, so there are now settings for each interact action. Put that fucker in the completed list. Yeah, we got 2 things in the completed list. And our list is it's still big but smaller. Can I make this collapsible? Turn into a toggle list. Great. Well, that fucking worked wonders. Good job, Notion. Idiot. All right. Backlog. Now I don't have to look at that. I need to add one last facial hair option. I think I can delete this list. Can I delete that list? Is that okay to delete? I think that's okay to delete. Goodbye. Oh, wait, what? Oh yeah, new screenshots for the Steam page. We need to do that. We have a lot of work we need to do to the Steam page. Honestly, you know what? The Steam page, I'm just not going to edit it. I feel like it's okay as is. I think what we can do is just add like a features list. What do you guys think? Like just add a features list in here. Who the fuck reads this? I think what we could do is just add a features list in here. Like right under here, features list. The GIF, I think, will still have space to appear. Let's see. Taking on dangerous contracts in a variety of stunning locations. Honestly, we should just remove stunning locations. That creates this is AI generated, I'm pretty sure. Fucking cringe. Limited supply of ammo and resources, you'll need to outsmart and outmaneuver your enemies to survive. See, this is exactly what I mean. No one fucking reads this, because we just got a negative review like days ago where he's like, the guy only has 7 bullets? Question mark? Exclamation mark? Question mark, question mark, question mark? Space? Question mark? You know what I mean? Like, I read it? Well, you're a part of the minority then, I guess. Utilize a wide array of pistol, shotguns, other firearms. Not just about firepower, masterful martial arts moves. Masterful martial arts moves will allow you to take... We should remove this. Or not remove it, but adjust it. I feel like it creates an expectation that there's going to be an insane amount of martial arts moves, but there's not like a crazy amount of combat moves. I would love to put in more. That would be cool, but yeah. Hit up Nightcraft. Those visuals and gameplay. Sleek and stylish visuals combined with intense gameplay create a truly immersive experience. Guns blazing, relying on martial arts skills. There's a variety of play styles suit your preference. Yeah, honestly, I think like the one thing we could add in here... Honestly, I think remove some of the fluff. And I think just add like a cool little features list. And I think adjust one of these GIFs to be in third person. Like the club. I think the club entrance, we could make this in third person. And then that adds enough variety. What date's the game gonna be done? What time is it? In 3 hours. April 7th. How much time you got? Soon. TM. Today? No, not today. In 2 days. That's for real. Wait, does the beta branch not count towards playtime? Does the beta branch actually not count towards playtime? I feel like it would. Would it not? Where did I learn game development? In the darkness of my room. What do I use to convert gameplay videos to GIFs? I don't remember what I did to compress these down. I want to say I took the video and then I probably put them into MP3 to GIF and then compressed them there to try to compress them as much as possible. Pretty sure it does, but maybe not if you play offline. Maybe that's what it was? I don't know. Interesting. I don't believe a single word that comes out of this guy's mouth, especially at least when it comes to release dates. I don't blame you, okay? Listen, I'm not... Yeah. What made you decide to want to make this game in the first place? Oh, that comment got removed. Oh, was I not supposed to read that? That text was written with lemon, and then, like, I'm supposed to put a lighter above it, and, like, I just fucked it all up. I just messed it all up. I'm sorry. I remember a post on r/gamedev. Okay, I'm gonna stop you there. I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay. I don't know. I think I just used MP3 to GIF or MP4 to GIF, whatever. Not only is it Reddit, it's r/gamedev. Yeah, I don't know. I just learned it myself. Yeah. I just learned yeah. Audio files. Yeah, sorry, MP4, not MP3. No CS degree? Nah. I finished high school, and then I said, I'm focusing on this. And that was it. Do I pay for any software? Writer? I was paying for Photoshop, but then Photoshop removed their license, so I canceled, and now I'm going to be forced to use Affinity soon. Can't wait for that chapter of my life. What am I currently paying for monthly right now? I think that's about it. Writer. I stopped paying for Cascadeur, but honestly, I might buy 1 year just to get whatever updates it has. Whatever bullshit AI, blah, blah, blah bullshit. But I'm sure there's some other actual good stuff in there, potentially. I don't know if there's any software I'm paying for monthly right now, besides Writer. I think that's about it. Am I planning on releasing any new games any soon? Oh, I don't know, dude. Depends on when that fucking happens. Where did I get the audio from in my game? A bunch of different places. Boom Library is probably one of the better quality places to go. MP4 to GIF is okay. I've always used FFmpeg, but the file sizes are a bit larger. That's the problem with FFmpeg. You can probably, you know, FFmpeg is really customizable. You could probably get it to spit out something that's lower file size. But honestly, for me, MP4 to GIF has been okay. And then they have like compression stuff in there, and that's been able to do the job pretty well. So That's been able to do the, I like, especially considering like when you post on Steam, you're going to be posting it within this like dimensions of whatever it allows anyways. So like, I don't know what the fucking size of these are, but I'm pretty sure I specifically made them to the size of like the actual, like where it's, how it's going to show up on the store page. Let's see, GIFs. Nope, not in here. Do I have a store Steam page? Branding, Steam, GIF 2, GIF 1. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. It's a bunch of PNGs. Right? Where's the GIF? Oh, here it is. I found it. The dimensions of it are 600 by 216. And, well, apparently this one's 215. What? I don't know what the difference is. They got two different ones here. Is that an older shot? And then this is a new one? Oh, it is new. It's just the same thing, but different. Huh, interesting. Easy GIF? It's extremely powerful being an online editor. It's most likely using FFmpeg and anyway under the hood. I don't know which website I use, guys. I'm going to be honest. It might have been Easy GIF. What was that, GILF folder? Do you mean GIF or GILF? Those are two different things. Those are two very different things. Although one, a GIF could be of, you know, never mind. I wish to no longer speak. How'd you come up with the name Suit for Hire? I don't know, I probably put it in like a name generator or something. I don't know. The ragdoll in the beta surely is better than the stable version. I think I did some edits to like how enemies react to shots. I don't know if that's in the vanilla branch though. But they should be a little better at least. Your game's like John Wick, dude? Why? I don't know. I wanted to make a game inspired by John Wick. Grok, name my game. Grok, what is the name of my game? I personally would have just called this name. I personally would have called this game John Wick and played dumb when the lawyers called. I honestly like the name of the game, Suit for Hire. It gives it a broader influence. The only problem is that some people misconstrue it for Soup for Hire, or Soup for Flyer, or Suit for Dyer, or... That's the only problem we got. That's about it. Sorry to be that guy, but do you think you'll add a Euphoria physics instead of the ragdolls? Yeah, you got like a few $1 million so I can pay Rockstar for a license for the Euphoria physics? I don't, you know, I can check my wallet, but I don't know if I got that in my wallet, unfortunately. If I did, I probably would have bought a house by now. And maybe a car, even though I can't drive it. I'd leave it in the garage to look at. Maybe something similar to Euphoria. I would love to add all those things. But to be honest, I would also love to work on the next game. And I'm sure someone else will be inspired by Suit for Hire, and hopefully they do, and hopefully they work on a better game within the same kind of realm of what I tried to accomplish. Jarvis, step on my balls. Jarvis. Crush my cock with a rock, I must. Jarvis. Can the RPG enemies fire the RPG? I know the ones with the RPG on their back can't fire, but what about the RPG mans and Rush B? They can fire it. They can. What are they doing? Just holding it? No, they can fire it. How many games have I made so far? Finished? I guess there's this one. But we're not at the finish line just yet. We're not at the finish line just yet. We're not there just yet. We're getting there though. Could 1 million get you a crazy house in Canada? No. 1 million is the minimum just to get any house. And that's playing it nice. That's playing it nice. That's if you win the bids. Canada is a bit of a weird place. Canada's a bit weird. It doesn't really make any sense. You get some shitty fucking house for like $1 million. It costs $1 million. How come you used UE for your game? I don't know. I just like UE and I know how to use it, so I used UE. 1 million. That's a studio price. Could buy some shitty house in like Brampton or some in the GTA if you get lucky. Generally it'll probably be like 1.3, and then you got like a bunch of taxes and property taxes and all this other stuff. Canada, woo, let's go, Pog. But you go far away from the centers? Yeah, you could do that, but then you're like living in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, so that's a problem. Anyways, so now that we finished that task, we got less red tasks, which is good. Gun, mouse, aim assist in third person feels weird with locking on behind the player character. I would like to fix that. Moving on is chill, but I seriously think this could be a cash cow workshop support and long-term content updates or something. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I do think if I continue with the game, it could get really good, but like I could make like a sequel with like a level editor and fucking more certified mod support and a bunch of other shit that I've had in mind for this game that I put on the back burner. But at the same time, kind of just want to move on to something new, something different as well. I'll let someone else take the I'll let someone else take the potential chance to make a really good, you know, game within that realm or whatever. Yeah. Makes a better Fire and calls it Ronin. I don't know what I'm going to work on next. I don't know. I have no idea. That part's terrifying in and of itself. I just know I do want to work on something different. I feel like I'm too comfortable working on this kind of project, which is great because then that means if I were to work on a second game or work on more updates, then that'd be good. But at the same time, I just want to do something different. Would I make it open source? No. Mainly because there's a lot of legalities involved. There's a lot of like assets in this project. It'd be cool to make like an API similar to like how Arc has it and stuff. I do not know the process of getting that going. And I don't know if it'd be worth it. Am I going to plan the same amount of dev time for the next game or something shorter? I don't know. It depends on what project I end up going with. I still have no clue what I'm going to work on after this. I'm going to switch to UE5? Most likely, yeah. A lot of my marketplace assets are UE5, so it seems to be leaning in that direction. How am I doing the third person aim assist? Am I doing it in here? Yes. Yes, I am. I believe I am. Ah, great. It doesn't appear anymore. Yeah, that's way too, like, far behind. Is it the sphere trace or is there something different going on? There is a line trace. I'm okay with that. It's this. I'm pretty sure it's the sphere trace. Ask Grok for ideas for the next game. I have ideas for games that I'd like to work on. It's just, I don't know which one I want to do. I just don't know which game I'd want to do. Like, it'll probably end up being either Ronin or the zombie survival roguelite. Now, how long would either one take? Wish I could tell you. Wish I could tell you how long one or the other would take. Pretty sure we can still aim at an enemy behind us. Yeah, I don't really like that much. Because they're like not even in view. I was hoping for the God Sim idle game. That seems to be the smallest. That would definitely be the smallest, and it would again be top down. And I think I would have a really fun time working on that as well. I think I would have a really fun time working on that. And then that would probably be a good introduction into getting into C++, potentially. No main character, no words. Well, there'd be a lot of words because we'd have to do a lot of tutorialization most likely and like stuff. So it's fine. Now that I've kind of figured out how localization works and the know-how and the process and some of the contacts to get into that, I think it's not so bad. But at the same time, what is the feasibility of a game like that selling? Suit for Hire was pretty self-explanatory. I think I always believed that Suit for Hire would sell pretty well. Ish. Well-ish. Am I going to switch from Blueprint to C++? I'm going to use both. Okay, so now the auto aim is only aiming behind us if there's an actual enemy in view. Still a little bit too lenient though. We need some YouTube devlog marketing. I think I've gotten to a point now with learning about YouTube and all these other things. I could probably market a game now, probably without requiring YouTube devlogs now, I feel like. But I think I do want to get back into devlogs just because I had fun with it, so When you add marketing, when you add modding, that's if I can figure out how to add modding. That's if I can figure out how. There's no guarantee that I'm going to put modding in this game. I would like to. I'm gonna read more into it. I did some brief reading into it recently, but it's a lot to take in. So. Okay, so now auto aim will only auto aim at an enemy if they are like directly behind us. Otherwise, you have to actually look at them. Now, top down, melee combat and top down actually feels kind of nice. That's if your sensitivity is high enough. Anybody know what happened to Randy? He's working on stuff, if I remember correctly. I haven't looked at his Discord in a while. I'm in one of his Discords. He's doing, he's doing a lot of, I think these days he's been doing a lot of, like, teaching stuff. So... he's been doing, a lot of, like, one-on-one teaching. That's what I remember. I don't know what his current project is right now, though. See, that would have been a cool thing that I would have wanted to do, Zav. That was on, like, my feature list of things that I would have liked to do, is, like, much more advanced grappling. So, like, taking the grapple system and doing, like, really cool stuff there, but it's a lot to get that to work. But I would love to. I would have loved to evolve the grapple system into something like that. And I would love to see someone do that. Like, that's where I'm saying, like, I think the space of, like, what Suit for Hire was trying to fill is... there's still space for an even better game to do really cool shit like that. Really just breaking the barrier of gun fu and mixing martial arts with guns and whatnot. I think there's still a huge gap that can be filled there. You know what I mean? Is he on UE too? No. No, he uses Odin, I think, right now. Odin or Jai. Yeah. I hope it just inspires someone to do some cool shit like that. You know what I mean? Break the boundary of just simple combat. Like, I think this combat is fun, but it is relatively basic. This is trying to fill in an issue, which is, well, once you run out of ammo, what then? Right? So that's kind of like what the melee system is trying to solve. Has some little basic fun combos, but... Is that still happening where the character's model starts freaking out? Okay, I think the aim assist is a bit better. You can still kind of aim assist right behind you, but they have to be, like, touching you, which I think is okay. Alright. That's improved, I think. It's an improvement from the previous thing that we had. Less red. Now, the only red we have left is add controller haptics. For some reason, we have none, which I swear It might have been a different project or a different like contract work thing that I was doing. I swear I put in at one point controller vibration, but I did not. So that's the last thing on that list, and the rest is yellow. What platforms am I game on? Currently just Steam, and I guess works on Steam Deck. That's about it. Daily streaming a while ago? Yeah, I don't know what he's up to. I don't know what he's up to. Banger song incoming. Yeah, I think he's deep into like teaching people stuff, which I think is cool. Console planned? Maybe Xbox? Perhaps Xbox. What's the software you're using as a list? Looks very clean. It is called Notion. Notion. Why not PlayStation? Sony is very difficult to self-publish on. I'd have to talk to a publisher to get it released on PlayStation. Sony is probably by far one of the harder ones to release on. What about Nintendo? I don't think this game's gonna fucking run on a Switch. I think it would actually melt the Switch. I think the Switch would actually like self-combust. In fact, it would probably spawn a black hole, suck itself back into the black hole, and then disappear. The Switch 2 runs Cyberpunk? Yeah, in quotation marks. Is it finally time to add the released aimed for date? Maybe it is. The question marks. What will it be? June. Make this blue. June. $19th. 20. 26. This is our goal. 2 days. 2 days. We got 2 days.
Shit my pants.
That's not real. It's real. Hey, Scotty, thanks for 5 gifted subs. It's not. It is. I'm just going to be working a lot of overtime today and tomorrow.
Shit my pants, I did. Shit my pants, I did.
Cyberpunk looks really good on the Switch too.
Shit my pants, I did.
I'm curious to see how it looks when it's docked. Superfire 1.0 before World War 3. Don't joke about that. That's not funny. It's not funny. It could be a very real thing. Am I originally from Switzerland? I was born in Switzerland, if that's what you mean by originally. I don't know what originally means. Originally, I was born there. Anyways, yeah, we got 2 days. So, few things I'd like to fix. What things have I promised in here? This I've promised. So this needs to be red. This I promised as well. This I also promised. Or well, promise in quotation marks. Are you a cheese fondue? Is the actual question there? What do you mean? Am I a cheese fondue? Like, am I a physical cheese fondue? Like, people dip their, like, bread inside of me and stuff? Is that what you're saying? What do you mean by that? I want an answer. Now, before we assume June 19th, though, games releasing on June 19th. Games releasing. Okay, this is Xbox, but June 19th. Rematch. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Surely my Crazy Cats versus Crazy Cyborgs. All right. Chronicles of DeWolf. Robots at Midnight. Jewel Match Solitaire. Yeah, we're going to have to push it to like June 20th, guys. I'm going to be honest. That's a no-go right there. Well, this is Xbox. What about like another thing? June 2025 video game release dates. Yep. Okay, hold on. June 19th, Chronicles of the Wolf. We see that again. Mystery rematch again, Star Overdrive. Okay. Nothing releasing on June 20th, funny enough. Isn't that just hot melted cheese? Yeah, but it's fucking bomb. And like you put like a little bit of wine in it. You put a little bit of white wine in there. A little bit of white wine. Okay. Put salt. You put black pepper. Melted cheese. You can put some other types of cheese in there too. I recommend get some like really strong cheeses and put that shit in there. Yes. Yes. Some good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. He's right. You have to do everything on a Tuesday. You who wants a Friday release? Who gives a shit? That's true, actually. But who cares, man? You know, every single time I see that dog laughing emote, you know what it reminds me of? For some reason, it just, I don't know why, it reminds me of Pirate Software emotes. Because I'm pretty sure he has a bunch of like German Shepherd emotes or something. It literally looks like a Pirate Software emote. I don't understand why Tuesday's game release day, what difference does it make? I don't fucking know. I don't care for that sort of shit. I'm going to be honest. I don't care for any of those like, well, our marketing department has found that Tuesday is actually the hottest day to release anything. Gosh, who fucking cares? Will it be a post-launch patch? Any like big bugs, I'll definitely release some patches. It's like the same thing with YouTube. People are like, you got to release your YouTube videos at like this specific time on this day. Listen, motherfucker, some of my most popular videos, I released them at like 2 a.m. because I just didn't care. I was like, fuck it, I'll just release it. Whatever, it's ready. Yeah. Hello, bar. Cheddar cheese fondue. Someone shoot that guy. Cheddar cheese fondue. What the fuck? Is that a thing? We don't use cheddar, I'm pretty sure, in fondue. You're almost there. Congrats. I don't know about you, but this list is still pretty big, brother. but thank you. We're getting there. Enemies firing even though they're not aiming directly at the player, sometimes shooting right behind them. Does anybody still experience this? I think I've made some changes to try to fix that. Hopefully it's fixed. It probably still occurs at times. Nothing beats the bird doing a gritty. Yeah. That looks like a seagull emote. The gritty goose, like seagull, as in like the Overwatch player. I don't know who's playing these nowadays. Probably playing Marvel Rivals, if I were to guess. Maybe it's not Nightcraft. Have a good one. This is how you get a day one 150 gigabyte patch, good AAA game experience. Our patches right now, I think, are like a gigabyte or something like that. I don't know why they're so big. It's probably because it's like... Usually Steam is able to like make the difference for a pack file, but maybe not. I don't know. I feel like our patches were smaller, so... Okay, I think this doesn't occur as often anymore. This is still occurring because someone just had an issue with that happening to them in the Toronto series. But I don't know which level in the Toronto series. If you switch your perspective to third-person mode while using the elevator, and after using again, change your perspective to top-down mode, the camera will be broken. Camera will be close to the character, restart or death fixes it. The elevator in the last chapter in Toronto broke my camera. There's no elevator in the last chapter. Is there an elevator? I don't think so. If you switch your perspective to third person mode while using the elevator. Elevator in the last chapter in Toronto. What? This is the last chapter. There's no elevator in the last chapter. Is there? No. Most of your game is packed into a singular pack file called thinwick windows no editor.pack. I know. That's what I mean. Is I wonder if they try to find I wonder if it does the pack file, if it like... Listen, don't fucking judge me, okay? I wonder if they meant to say this level instead. I wonder if they meant to say this level, the train level. Not the last chapter, but oh shit, I still have the sphere trace. Whoopsies. Problem solved. I still have aim assist on. We can turn that off. Guys, it was a mistake using mouse aim assist, by the way, in the trailer. Because so many people are like, why is the game so easy? He's got aim hack. Big mistake. Not doing that again. I'll just find a way of showing like a fake I'll tape like a thing to my screen so I know where the crosshair is. Why does he turn so slowly? Oh shit, the built lighting doesn't we might have to make that a dynamic light perhaps. Okay. So in the train level, let me read the note again. If you switch your perspective to third person mode while using the elevator and after using again change your perspective to top down mode, the camera will be broken. It would appear the elevator has a missing piece. Missing mesh in elevator in top down on Toronto trains. So you switch while using the elevator. So we should switch to third person.
The doors are now closing. The next train will arrive in 1 minute.
And then we go out, and then we go back to top down. Our character is very... Ah. I see. That's a part of that one bug I have on my list. Okay, so I know how I'll fix that. No problem. I wonder if we should spawn 7 enemies per spawn wave and not 4. Is it because the top-down camera doesn't get reset if it's not active? No. So, in my bug, when we're in third person, the parameters for the top-down does not get set when we go through like different zones where we change the camera parameters. So what ends up happening is, when you get inside, we make the camera really zoomed in into the elevator. If we switch to third person, once we enter a certain zone by going down the elevator, it's not resetting it. So I just need to set the parameters nonetheless, even when we're in third person. That's the problem. And once I fix that, it should fix all of the other levels as well. Yeah. Fix it by disabling the switch perspective button while in the elevator. That is like a super duct tape fix. That's not a good fix in my opinion. The better fix would be just setting the parameters, even though the camera's not being used. And that's probably the best way of going about it. Let's go to that level real quick, because either way we have to fix something in there too. Trains. Why does this shit disappear? The mid structure. Oh, it has a 3pp visible tag on it. I think I know why that's happening. I don't know how I'm going to fix that. Can I give it both tags, 3pp visible and 3pp hidden? Or will that cause a black hole in my code? Okay, well, the problem is we have this spot right here where we adjust the camera. And for some reason, we check if we are not equal to third person. Can I ignore that? I would have to ignore this, the depth fade length. I want to not change that. That's the only thing I would not want to change. That's it. But then if I don't... whatever. If I don't change it, then it might fuck up when we go into top-down, but whatever. Won't. Okay. Oh shit, our player starts right there. Well, let's try it. Oh wait, we're starting here. Yes! Which is technically not correct. Yeah, it's not right. But I'm glad it did that way. So... why does my camera look like this? Actually, it's really weird. I go in here. I go this way. It's a nightmare just starting out with blueprints. You'll get past it. You'll become a Giga developer. Don't you worry.
The next train will arrive in 1 minute.
All right, so that worked. It changed the rotation of the camera. Changed all of that good stuff. Do we still see the midsection of the elevator? We do. We do still, however, also see it in top down. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but not a deal breaker, I guess. Is the AI still doing weird things and not attacking? Oh, there goes that dude. We still got a couple bugs that we need to fix. At least that should be fixed. Working on some melee FPS animations. Let's take a look. I don't know if it's the frame rate of the video. I would maybe make the right slash start a little bit more to the left, personally. I'd make it start like over here. So then that way you have more range of motion going forward. Because right now it kind of looks a bit weird. Yeah. And if you're doing combo attacks, it would be cool to also see it like if you're going left to right, you immediately go, the other direction. Sorry, right to left, left to right. I would probably do that as well, but looking good, man. Not bad. Blueprints, on the other hand, that's a great game. It's a great game. Okay, so what things could potentially... I don't think this would cause any bugs. I don't think so. Unless camera offset gets used. Let's see. Let's just double check before I like get a bug report about this. As far as I can tell, no. As far as I can tell, it's fine. So, don't know why I did that the way I did that, but it should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, camera shake goes a really long way as well with attacks. They do. Camera shake can go a really long way to add more to it other than just focusing on just the attack swing itself. It does go a long way to have like a little bit of subtle movement in the direction that you're attacking. Anytime you're doing any camera movements, obviously, you know, with subtlety, right? Always with subtlety. So this should fix that bug. What next is on the list? By the way, this is the list. This is the list. Street Fighter 2.0, the enemies write us up as zombies after you kill them. That's a different game, brother. That's a different game. It's large every time. Yeah, I know. I know. Add Steam achievements based on difficulty. Backlog. Put the fucker in the backlog. Where's the backlog? Put him in the backlog. Missing mesh, and I already fixed that. Get off my list. Hitting an enemy from far away instantly aggroes the enemy on the player. Right. I don't know what to do there. I do, but yeah. Serious question, Steam, but not Epic Games. I will probably look into releasing on Epic Games. It's just an additional headache. You know what I mean? Because if you do a sale on Epic Games, you need to do the same sale on Steam. So you need to make sure that those are consistent because Steam has rules that specifically pertain to pricing consistencies across all sites. Then if I do an update on Steam, I need to do the update of a game store as well. And then you're asking, well, why can't you just automate that? Yeah, I could. I just don't know how to. So that's really all there is to it. Better revenue split on Epic. I honestly don't think I would have gotten as many sales on Epic Game Store, to be honest. Have I used any other engines? Not enough to give an opinion. You guys remember when the Steak Store was like 10 games? The Steak Store? I love the steak store. Big fan. Medium rare? I'm gonna be honest, I really don't like steak. I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, bad take. I just don't like steak. I'm sure many of you are gonna be, bad take. I just don't like steak. I'd rather get literally anything else. Give me a burger. Nice, well done burger. Smash burgers. Not a big fan of steak. Prefer beef and chicken? Brother, doesn't a steak come from the cow? It's beef. I think. We generally don't have smash burgers in Canada. We do. In Toronto, at least. There's quite a few. Well, yeah, no, I'd call them smash burgers. Calgary has none? Well, that's because you're in Calgary. There's fucking nothing in Calgary. What do you want from me? There's nothing over there. What do you want from me? Steak is a cut, so you can get pork and lamb steaks as well. Ah, that's true. That's true. Good point. Fair point. Fair point. Fair play. True. I don't know what I was just typing there. Yeah, but if you can have pork and lamb steak, can you get a chicken steak? Yeah, I thought so. You can't. There's no such thing as a chicken steak. Is there? Wait, is there a chicken steak? I don't think so, right? I used to live in Toronto. I know things. Favorite burger place? You know, I might even order a burger today. Fuck it. If you ever pass by Toronto, grab a burger at... It's a place called Happy Burger. Happy Burger, best place, in my opinion. Don't even bother with Shake Shack or fucking Chick-fil-A or whatever. Go to Happy Burger. Here he goes door dashing again. Leave me alone. Let me live my life. Looks like 3,000 calories. Probably more like 1,500. Well, the burger, probably like 1,000. You just save the money for the assets? That's true. I'm going to be paying $1,000 soon for all these fucking assets, man. Shit's rough out here. Sci-fi, jungle biome. Just say it's fucking Pandora, man. Just say it's Pandora. Just put the Pandora in the bag. Put the Pandora in the bag. If we do work on top-down idle game, that'll be kind of stylized. What's an asset that I'm going to need for that? Some kind of like foliage, right? Some sort of foliage? Probably. Kind of like stylized foliage? Put the stylized tree in the bag. Where is it? Where are you? Not that one. I don't like that one. I'm sure I have a stylized foliage pack, right, guys? Right. Maybe. Limited time free on the top left menu. Oh, some bullshit? Yeah, I love that. Love that for me. Oh, I do have this. Stylized foliage pack. Hmm. Have you ever seen those clips of people making food where they just put some sauce on top of stuff where it doesn't make sense? Makes me sick because I think about grabbing a sandwich with sauce on the outside of the bread, making it soggy. You guys put ketchup on your steaks? You guys ever put ketchup on your steak before? Anybody else hate how every burger has way too much sauce? Depends on the kind of sauce. If it's a banger sauce, I want more sauce. Maybe not too much sauce, but enough sauce. Get the machine gun kit from today. Which one are you talking about? Limited time free. Stylized Village Fat Pack? They called it the Fat Pack? Okay. I already have this one. I must have gotten it from like a humble bundle pack. I don't like it drippy, bruh. Don't like it drippy. Get obsessed. By the way, how do you stop UE5 from using so much VRAM? I don't know. Just ask it to not use as, I don't know. Just ask it. I don't know. Just be like, hey, can you stop using so much VRAM? Thanks, man. Thanks. Or you could download more RAM. Yeah, you can do that too. Imagine not storing the cart correctly if you add assets from multiple tabs. This fucking website. I think you just have to refresh and then it'll work. Will my zombie game be third person or first person? You know what would be cool is if it had both, but it'd probably just be third person. You know why third person? Because if that game is going to be co-op, third person is the easiest one from a scope standpoint. If I do first person, I have to do both third person and first person animations. Is that the is that the dead-weighted wham one? Is that the dead-weighted wham? This is a pain in the ass, I can't lie, man. If you do a first person game and it's single player, you're safe. If you're doing a first person game and it's co-op, you're not safe. You will be in pain. You can do true first person, but then you're gonna need a puke bag because that shit fucking sucks balls. True first person is not great. You're gonna need to like stabilize the head or whatever you're using to attach the camera and all that stuff. All that kind of fun stuff. You know what I mean? All that kind of fun stuff. All that jazz. Yeah, true first person I think is lazy and shit. 99% of the time, it just does not look that good, especially compared to like proper first person. So, I don't know. I think I will probably try to mess around with adding first person to the zombie game because I'm sure people are going to ask for it, but when it comes to things like melee weapons and whatnot, I'll probably switch it to third person. What about improper first person? I don't know. That would just be the day after. Me attaching the camera to the player's head and then not hiding their head, so you see the character's head clip through the camera. There you go. Improper first person. What about fifth person? What is fifth person? What does that entail? What kind of third person? Over the shoulder or more pulled back? Probably within the realm of like the day after. So over the shoulder kind of style. What about 3.5 person? Hey-yo. You motherfuckers think you're clever, huh? Think you're clever. What's on the list? Put the bag in the list. Oh, shit. Aha. I'm not named Randy, by the way. If I could change my name, I would change my name to Stefan. Because that's just, I don't know, there's just a fun name, Stefan. It reminds me of a... Was it PewDiePie that named one of his characters Stefan? Was that what it was? I think it was, actually. It was like Stefan or something? I don't remember. The statue. Wasn't the statue called Stefan? Stefano. How's our list looking? Enemies. Put that in the backlog. Put the enemies in the backlog. I'm a little embarrassed that I remember that so well. Why would you be embarrassed for that? Why would you be embarrassed? Okay, so for suit customization, we just need to add one last facial hair and eyebrow option. I've been putting that off because I'm fucking lazy and I don't want to open up Substance Painter, but I'll do that probably later today. Gotta get the screenshots. The trailer, gotta start working on that. Gotta start recording more footage. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that. I literally don't know. Update the website and press kit. This is like the last thing on my list. I could probably do this after 1.0 is released. And then an announcement post. Okay. Très bien. I'm going to add these in off stream. I'm going to figure out some food because I have not eaten anything. I have not eaten anything yet, and I'm hungry, and I'm extremely hungry, and I want a second coffee. And so, on that note, I will see you tomorrow for the second last day, or basically last day, because ideally by tomorrow night, we should have the build ready to ship on the 19th. And then if anybody is around, I would very much appreciate, as we push updates tomorrow, if anybody can do last minute testing just to make sure, if you can. If not, that's okay. None of you are technically getting paid, so it's not like you're on a QA fucking team or something. But I do appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody that has helped with helping, with all of these bugs we have on this list. Nonetheless, though, I think I'm going to try to lock down any new stuff by tonight. Yeah. I'm attending a concert tomorrow. I'm going to miss the release party. Well, the release party, I guess, would be on the 19th, so you're fine. Enjoy the concert. Enjoy the concert. Don't get too crazy. Did I grab the latest free stuff? I have one of the machine gun stuff, but I already had that before. The other assets, don't care. Are we on the zombie game yet? No, not yet. Soon enough. Soon enough. The champagne pops on the 19th. Semi-casual dress code. No push-ups. I'm going to go before one of you. I'm not doing them. If you do them, you wasted your points. Okay, goodbye. See you guys tomorrow. I'm going to work a bunch on this today. And hopefully get these, like, things done. Hey, I'm not refunding that. Fuck you, man. You 10,000 points down the gutter. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. Because I am too lazy to open up the menu to refund it. Maybe I'll refund it tomorrow when I feel like it. Remind me tomorrow. Okay, goodbye. See you guys tomorrow. Possibly update patch for the beta patch releasing today-ish when I can. But I think the game is pretty stable-ish. Hold on, let me look at this list before we leave. Gun shadows, which makes it look like a penis, and apparently the location minimap pinpoint. Don't know how I'm going to fix that one. This should be pretty easy to fix that one. Some suggestions. Yeah, I have a feeling this is because of the enemies despawning. That issue there. Fix that one. I believe I did. This one is a UI bug. Clean suit injector highlight fighting. Okay, I can try to figure out something for that. Maybe if I change the Z order of one of them. That's it. That's it. This should also be fixed. Okay. Oh, I think I looked at some of these, but... Oh yeah, this as well. Shit. Do I have that on the list? Yes. How? Kermit the Frog here. Hellcat 22 redeemed 5 push-ups. Yeah, that's not... It's not gonna work. Okay, goodbye. See you guys tomorrow. I got a lot of work I need to do today. I also got to do some contract work. Shoot me. Someone shoot me. All right, goodbye. See you later. Have a great day. Thanks for dropping by. We're almost at the finish line. And then what do we work on after that? I don't know. Something of the sort.